guy. His name is Sumit. He is an illustrator. He is an illustrator. He's very creative, and the cool thing about this comedian is that he's always ideating. So put your hands together for Sumit.
Huh? Am I going on?
Hello. I feel like I'm back in school again. Okay. It's always good to start with a bad joke. Come on, guys.
Really bad.
No, I can really get bad, sir. You really don't know my potential. You've seen me for the first time. Seriously, ask those guys. They know me. Okay. So the basic thing, I was actually planning to do a safe thing today. There's a thing I do about judds, Punjabi judds. These guys are really funny. And I really...
Yeah.
How do you know it? Oh, sorry. So, I always do this thing about Punjabi judds because I've lived in Amritsar for 5 continuous years. And I know a lot about them, and that's my safe thing, every comedian has a safe thing. So I thought the crowd is a little less, and I guess I can be a little creative today. So I was planning to talk about my averageness. And when you come to think about averageness, all of us are really average in one way or the other. We are really average. We are not different than anyone else. But whenever we come out, we try to be this different guy. I'm using this pouch to hide my averageness. Someone else uses something else. But at the heart of it, we're really average. Like that guy in the yoga t-shirt. Seriously, this guy's there and I'm there, and we have multiple guys here who have male boobs. We are a club, yeah? We all have male boobs, but we try and we're like... So, and seriously, and I'm really average. And how do you tell that you're average? I'll start from my initial years. I've been beaten with every practical thing in my house which could be moved. So to start with jhadoos, chappals, press, my mother, and even she might have beaten me up with my sister. She might have done that because that was my initial years, and everybody else. I think if you concur. Both are, and then if you move on to my school years, I'm from Central School. Anyone here from Kendriya Vidyalaya? And you guys might know that Kendriya Vidyalaya, Central Schools are the most funny schools ever because they're not as good as a convent school. They're not as bad as a Sarkari school. They're just somewhere in between, which is really pathetic. And then that again adds up to your averageness in such a funny way that my English is really, it's not that good. And it's not that bad either. So I'll always say breeze when I have to say dress. I'll always say jewelry when I have to say jewelry. Because it's not my fault. I have a Tamilian for a friend for 5 years. And I lived in Amritsar for 5 years. I live in Delhi now, and I lived in Bhopal for some time. Bhopal is the capital for mispronunciation. Seriously, वो लोग पेन को पेन बुलाते हैं. Okay, no way. I'll make you laugh. No, you won't laugh. I'll make.
Don't like me so much. Just give me a go.
We can talk after the performance. We can have another performance. Okay, so that's, but now coming to my family, seriously. Coming to my family, and about safe jokes, I remember one thing, Mr. Rajora just told me that there are always safe jokes. Like the Jat thing he does is his safe joke. And he told me today to do something different. And now if you don't, you're stuck. Acha, now about my family. My dad is a banker, my sister is an MBA, my other sister is married to a doctor, and my mother is an housewife. You can't get a better average description than this. And my dad is not a BlackBerry type of a banker. He's a banker who has this papa kind of mustache. He carries a briefcase to work, and he works in State Bank of Patiala. You were supposed to laugh right here, but again, I just walked in. 10 rupees later, man. Okay, and then when you come down to it, when my sister was married, my dad spent so much money. उस पैसे में you could make one African country develop that could add up a seed fund for a startup. Okay, supposed to laugh at this one again, but okay.
Do the same joke.
Yeah?
Do the same joke.
Yeah.
Do the same joke. Should I do the jet thing?
Yeah.
Jet thing. Okay. So Amritsar, you know what Amritsar is like? Is there anyone from Amritsar here? Is anyone here from Punjab? आप जट तो नहीं हो? आप मुझे गैरेज में पीछे मिल सकते हो, परफॉर्मेंस में मैं चक्कू लेके मैं खड़ा होऊंगा बात कर। अच्छा, Amritsar is like divided into sectors of people. So you can imagine a pie जिसमें there are these guys who are not judges. There are these guys who are judges. There are these guys who are not judges but want to become judges. There are these guys who are not judges, don't want to become judges, but they'll eventually become judges. Then you have these guys who are not judges, don't want to become judges, eventually won't become judges, but finally they end up as judges. So what's the difference between a judge and a jar? Now you're getting really bored there. You have to understand. This is like pop culture. I'm getting you updated, man. So what's the difference between a judge and a jar? Anyone knows here? What's the difference between a judge and a jar? Yeah, jars are from Haryana, but they have the same alpha male thing going. But the judges have it on a different dimension altogether. So they have the same alpha thing as Haryanvi jars, but they have one more thing, which is more about their, you could say, they like going abroad and all that thing. So it's a little bit different. I'll describe you how judges are. And these are not judges who are in Delhi. So sir, it's not about you. Nothing personal. It's about the unadulterated type of judges we have in Amritsar. Unadulterated 21-year-old standard judge who drives a bullet. And seriously, judges have some specific things about them. They drive a bullet. They'll have a jeep. They'll have a jeep with radials. Big radials. They'll have such huge radials it almost looks like a tank. Number 2, thanks a lot. I'm giving you 500 rupees after this performance. All of you can go together. Start laughing now. Thank you. So these judges, and they have these specific things about them, then you feel like whenever they are born, they have these things which will be issued, because whenever a judge will be born, whenever I look at him, he gets very attentive. Okay? I have to hear. Okay, so whenever a judge is born, I seriously assume they take him to a judge issue office, and that judge issue office issues a Ray-Ban, one Jeep, one lousy jeans, one Chicago tourism t-shirt, 5 dabba of hair gel, and 1 bullet. Seriously, I believe that happens. That seriously happens all the time, because these guys have that. And what you feel like, and whenever you go, I'm from Delhi. So I went to Amritsar, I felt like, I'm from Delhi, I'll pass off on this happy Delhi guy and I'll be like, I'm from Delhi, so time cut that. But eventually nahi hua. Because I went there and all these guys are sitting. So I enter there and I'm trying to make a joke, I'm like, and they're like, just always have this uniform expression on their face. Seriously, you want to check? See him. Seriously, check him. Check him after 10 minutes. He's not watching. He'll be like,